Good evening and welcome back. My name is Chris. I'm your host. Joining me tonight are Dan.
Hey.
Tiff.
Hi.
And
hello. Was that tight enough?
Dean's on speed.
All right,
Anyway,
let's do it.
It's that time of year again. The Electronics Entertainment Expo is in full hype train mode, and we're going to throw our respective coals on the fire. Will Dean finally get that Bubsy/Battletoads crossover he's been dreaming of? It's E3 predictions time, and this is the Stone Age Game. Hello again, everyone. This is episode 52 of the Stone Age Gamer podcast, and that means we've officially been doing this for a year.
Hooray!
Our first episode went live on April 28th, 2014. We missed a few weeks somewhere in the very beginning, and if you count our odd extra numbered episodes, this would actually be episode 55. We're not going to dwell on the minutia, because this time we are celebrating 52 episodes by doing another episode. But not just any old episode, because it's time for our annual spectacular.
It's a hell of an episode.
I love it. I'm so
Hell of a
excited.
celebration.
My body is ready.
It is, actually. We're doing this on Google Hangouts, so we can see each other now, which is interesting.
Creepy and unsettling is the words I was going for.
Anyway, each of us has come up with things that we expect and or hope to see at this year's Electronics Entertainment Expo, or E3 as the folks in the biz call it. We're all going to take turns with our wild accusations, and I guess I will kick us off. So I'm going to throw my first one out there. What do you guys think? I think Crash Bandicoot's coming back. It's going to be a PS4 exclusive, and it's not going to be developed by Naughty Dog.
Wasn't Naughty Dog talking about bringing Crash back, though? I could have sworn
they just went on record somewhere saying they weren't bringing it back. They're like, nah, we're not going to look at... Was it they were like kind of denying Jak and Daxter and
maybe
Crash
it was...
Bandicoot?
I could have sworn it was Sony or someone that, like, they had a small clip or something, or maybe it was that they wanted to bring a character back like that. That could have been it, that they wanted to bring a mascot back. I read it like last month, something along those lines. It wasn't anything confirmed for like Crash, but it was something that was hinting at it. Though I don't know. I do not know. But good one, man. I think that would be cool. I'd love another Crash, dude. That was a PS1 like must-have.
Crash went through a weird metamorphosis too. Like, it was like the whole like anti-Nintendo character thing at first when he was like standing outside the Nintendo headquarters with the megaphone and calling out Mario or whatever, and then it was on PlayStation 2 and GameCube and Xbox and Game Boy Advance, and then there was a weird team up with Spyro, and then I think it just kind of disappeared.
He teamed up with Spyro?
Yeah, it was like
Sony sold the Crash and Spyro to, I think it was to Universal.
Yeah, Vivendi Universal got it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I did not know that.
Awesome.
But yeah, I mean, Crash is just such an awesome franchise. I'd love to see it again. They had a really hard time, I think, on the 360, and I think that led to its demise, unfortunately.
I think it could be really good. I don't know that it's necessary. Wow, I can hear myself in somebody's microphone. That's fucking weird. Anyway, I don't know that it's necessary for it to come out because Sony is such a different company now. You know what I mean? Like looking into how the PS4 is, like the position that it has and the way it's kind of thought of in the industry. I don't know that the audience is there for that game anymore. I mean, and really, I'm only basing that on the fact that Knack sold like shit.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to agree with you. While that would be cool, I guess, I would be really surprised.
Yeah, that's definitely it's not a hope. It's more of an expectation. I feel like somebody at Sony, like, all right, because every year Sony does something stupid, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they're just like, and now we're doing this because everybody wants it. And I feel like Sony's thinking to themselves, you know what our console needs is an animal that can talk. We need an anthropomorphic platformer, and we need it now. and we're going to bring back Crash Bandicoot, and all those Crash Bandicoot fans are going to flip out and buy PlayStation 4s, and we're going to make lots of money.
That's Crashes nowadays is more like, oh, that's a cool sort of thing, and if you have a PS4, it's great. But I don't think that's a console seller by any means.
I don't think it is either, but I think Sony's going to think it is.
Yeah, let those crazy bastards do what they. You know what? To be honest, they're more fucking crazy than Nintendo nowadays.
Yeah, they are.
Well, and your prediction, Chris, kind of leads into, if I may be so bold as to jump in here.
Take the table, Dan.
And make my prediction, because, if you're the king of segues, then I guess that makes me the queen of segues. Anyway, but that leads into mine. I think Sony, I would bet dollars to donuts that Sony is going to announce God of War 4, because Kratos seems much more like, their market share at this point.
So you know what I feel like I sort of feel like Sony won so hard last year that they are gonna have their panties all in a twist and be super excited and like come out with pyrotechnics and be like, we're the god of all video games, and do like the dumbest shit, and they're gonna lose E3 hard, and it's gonna be embarrassing.
That is their MO.
Yeah. But God of War 4, what do you think?
I think that's more plausible than Crash Bandicoot. Well, I maybe a big unveil, but I don't know. I mean, how long did we wait for God of War 3 to come out after the PS3 was revealed?
I was like 2 years.
Was it 2?
Yeah,
I thought it was further down the line. But I mean, maybe it's time then. It's what, been 2 years since the PS4's been out? Maybe less.
Yeah. And
when was the last God of War game? Wasn't there some weird Ascension? Yeah, what was that? Was that PS3?
That was PS3.
Yeah, it was.
Jeez,
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, wasn't that a redo of the PSP one for the PS3?
Nope.
No?
Those are separate. Yeah, Ascension is weird. I don't know. I didn't play it, but it's somewhere weird in the storyline.
What do you think they would do with God? See, like I stopped playing God of Wars at a certain point just because they're all they struck me as very much the same as one another, and I don't know if I'm wrong in that. I did like in God of War 3 the way they treated the quick time events. I thought putting the buttons that you were supposed to press in your on the borders of the screen, like in your periphery, I thought that was really clever. So you're concentrating on what's happening on the screen, and you can pay attention to what you need to press for the quick time events in your peripheral vision, which was smart. But outside of small things like that, like where does something like that go on PlayStation 4, and how do you even make it bigger? Like there were freaking titans fighting each other?
It's sort of tough to up the ante, I think.
The rumor had been for years that now that Kratos was done with the Greek gods, he was going to make his way over to the Roman gods or the Egyptian gods.
Was he going to jump a shark on the way over there?
Yeah, that's very happy days.
Over there.
Jumping over Fonzie, jumping a shark.
I don't know.
Actually, he's going to face Fonzie.
I think that would be really fucking cool.
God of War versus Fonzie.
Kratos in Fairy Tale Land. It's going to be a crossover with that weird book attachment thing they were talking about 2 years ago.
Oh, the Wonder Book? That thing's fucking dope.
That's awesome. We love our Wonder Book.
They didn't fucking make nearly enough shit for it, but it's really cool.
Wait,
Harry Potter is more than enough.
Can we take a sidebar? Really what's a Wonder Book?
It's so cool. It works with the camera, and it's like a 4-page book that's got weird symbols all over it that the camera like recognizes. So
the PlayStation Move.
Yeah, the Move. That's what it is. So you sit down and like you put the book on the floor, and the camera detects the book, and on the screen it turns the book into something else. So like, in Harry Potter, that's your spell book. So as you turn the page, it turns the page of the book, and like stuff comes out of it. And the PlayStation Move thing is your wand. It's really cool.
Huh? That does sound kind of neat.
I love all things Harry Potter. So I don't know what else was for it. I purchased the whole thing specifically for Harry Potter.
Remember that
a dinosaur thing for it, and
yeah.
Remember how they did that big fucking push for that card game on the PS3 and it just failed miserably?
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't even remember what that was.
I don't remember the name of it. I just remember how bad it tanked and how many of those we had left over.
Huh. So God of War 4, yeah, I think that's a likely scenario. I don't know if it's
I don't know. I really
can't
like
see
God of
myself getting
War, and
excited about it.
yeah, I really like God of War, and I think that I would be excited just because it's God of War, but also kind of disappointed.
Well, I think for
I feel like
more
it's
the
done.
masses, that would probably be a very big game because it's sort of like Call of Duty. God of War fits into that same thing where just a lot of people play it. I mean, casual players play it. It's just a fun game. So it's one of those things that I think it would gain a lot of appeal. But, for hardcore gamers, it would just be like, do I need another God of War?
It's a safe announcement.
Yeah.
Which I think why I find it so plausible, because I feel like Sony's going to try to do a couple of safe announcements and then makes a bunch of stupid shit, and then that's going to be their E3. I don't really know what to expect from Sony overall. I mean, I guess I've been personally more focused on Nintendo because I was so happy with their presentation last year, but I remember thinking a lot more of Sony's show than Microsoft's. But
Speaking of Nintendo, I have a somewhat interesting prediction. I think maybe.
all
I
right.
think it's interesting anyway. I don't know if it's so much a prediction slash really, 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 really hope, but I think they are going to announce the HD remake of GoldenEye for Nintendo.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that this year is going to be like the year for the HD remake. Like, I feel like that's going to be, everybody is going to have an HD remake or an upscale collection or something. But I am hoping for GoldenEye.
didn't they sort of have that GoldenEye thing on the Wii though?
They did, and that eventually got ported to other things too, but that wasn't. It was like a kind of sort of remake.
I didn't buy it. So I played
it's
it.
supposed to be pretty good.
I played it at Comic-Con, and I was like, this is all right.
So now you're talking like just straight up. This is the N64 game, completely revamped, Pierce Brosnan and everything.
I'd buy it.
Actually, looking like Pierce Brosnan this time. Yeah.
Well,
I would sit outside on the concrete in line for that.
Well, no, I agree with you. If they did that, that would be cool. However, I think there's some caveats there. I don't think they'd get to use Pierce Brosnan. I just don't think that would be in the works, unfortunately. But I mean, as far as a faithful remake, besides that, maybe them replacing Pierce Brosnan with someone else, I think it's doable. I don't see why not.
What's Dalton doing right now? Probably nothing.
True. Well, I mean, it's more tied up in the rights of who owns that property. It's, I don't know who has the Bond license right now, but you have to get Nintendo, Rare, and by extension Microsoft, and whichever company owns the Bond license on the same page.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right.
In order to make that exact game happen, which is why GoldenEye for Wii and was eventually ported to other platforms had Daniel Craig and was redesigned, because like it was as close to it as they could legally get it without well, as close as they could legally get it. It was basically what that was all about.
That's what I'm thinking. There's just too many hoops to jump through for it to be a shot-for-shot remake, unfortunately. But
that being
I'd
said,
like to see it.
I think you underestimate Reggie's hoop jumping abilities.
Reggie does do a lot of great hoop jumping. I agree.
And I'll mention this in one of my predictions a little later too. But Rare and so Microsoft and Nintendo have played nice before. There was an exclusivity thing with Oddworld at one point, and then Oddworld with Microsoft, and there was I think a Game Boy Advance Oddworld game through the Microsoft license. There was a Banjo-Kazooie game after the Rare buyout. There's actually, I think, 2 of them that showed up on the Nintendo DS or Game Boy Advance or one of those. They've played well together in the past, so it's not
Microsoft certainly needs to play well with others right now.
Yeah, they do. Well, the Xbox One sold more consoles than the Wii U, but
that's not saying much.
Still,
yeah,
they're really more after that PlayStation market than the Nintendo fans. But yeah, I would friggin' love to see GoldenEye HD. I would love to see that game come back in some way, shape, or form, because people have wanted it for so many years, and it's one of those really unfortunate things that's just tied down under all these rights issue. I hate that kind of stuff. I mentioned it in the Lost in Time article that went up today. Those kinds of games, when licensed games turn out to be good, they tend to disappear into the ether. Like, look at stuff like Ninja Turtles. Like Ubisoft had to go through a lot of shit to get those Turtles games up briefly on networks and whatnot, and then they had to be pulled back down because rights continue to change hands. And hate it when that stuff happens to good games.
It's just one of those things that you hope that they figure out, because right now people are playing GoldenEye online.
Yeah.
Like, illegally, sure, but that doesn't stop.
Well, the fact of the matter is
it,
it's
absolutely.
possible, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a market for it. People would do it, so figure it out and make some fucking money off of it.
Yeah, I mean, look at DuckTales Remastered. They figured that shit out. Marvel vs. Capcom, they figured that shit out because they knew there was money to be made.
So speaking of Microsoft and bringing up old shit, I know. Let me finish. I was making a segue. You captains of segue.
She's calling me old shit. That's the segue.
Speaking of old shit, Dean.
Does anybody want to talk about the obvious Microsoft?
Oh, what's the obvious Microsoft? Because I wasn't going to talk about Microsoft that much.
God damn it, Dean.
No,
say Robert Downey Jr. again.
Oh, you're talking about Rainbow Six.
Mark Ruffalo?
Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, was that what you want to talk about, Tiff? Because by all means, I'll leave the floor to you for another one if you got something else to talk about.
No. I was talking about Battletoads.
Oh, the Shovel Knight thing.
That's actually one of my predictions.
Oh, do you
I think that's one of everybody's predictions, and if they don't, they're going to be in trouble.
But I have a caveat to mine.
Well, shoot, because we're on the subject now.
Microsoft will announce a new Battletoads game, and at least one Toad will have tribal tattoos.
Gotta, bro.
God.
It's gonna happen. They did it to Jago. They think it's cool. One of the Toads will have tribal tattoos.
I want him covered.
Cool fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah,
tribal tattoos weren't cool ever.
No,
I want him covered in tribal tattoos if he's gonna be covered in them, like neck to foot.
And you know what else I'm gonna say about this whole Battletoads situation? I don't think it's gonna be good. I think it's good. I think reviving Battletoads might not be a good idea.
I think reviving Battletoads and having Rare do it is a really bad idea.
Whoa, yeah.
They can't make games anymore.
No. All of their talent has moved on. They're like Sonic Team with a Microsoft shield.
Oh,
yeah,
that was a deep cut, bro. No, I feel bad for them because being compared to the Sonic Team is like a pretty supreme insult.
If you gave Battletoads to Drinkbox Studios, the guys who made Guacamelee,
now you're talking.
go. You've got a fucking amazing
them
game.
To do everything.
I just want them to make Guacamelee too, but
I want them to make Battletoads now. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean they would be fucking great for it. And Battletoads is going to happen this year, right? I think that's a pretty safe prediction.
So we're all predicting Battletoads. Have all of us predicted that game?
I would agree with Battletoads being a thing that will be talked about. I don't think that will be a joke anymore. When people ask if we have Battletoads, yes, there will be Battletoads.
There will be Battletoads.
There will be Battletoads.
I even predict that will be the joke that some dick in a suit makes on stage.
Isn't it funny? Battletoads, look at us, we're hip.
Some dude with gray hair is going to come out in a blazer and a t-shirt and jeans, make some dumbass joke about calling GameStop about do you have Battletoads, and
no, what I think is
roll up his sleeve and there'll be a Battletoads tattoo on his arm.
I think they're gonna do the whole press conference and the whole show and the whole everything, and they're gonna end it out and everything, and the lights are gonna go and the music and whatever, and everybody's gonna leave and everyone's gonna be sitting there like, for reals they didn't just do that, and then like one guy's gonna walk back out and be like, oh yeah, and we also have Battletoads.
That'd be kind of funny.
Is they should end the press conference like that and have everybody looking kind of disappointed, and then have one guy walk back out and be like, oh yeah, and by the way, when you guys leave here today, make sure you call GameStop and ask if they have Battletoads, because it'll be out next week. Bah, motherfucker.
They're going to pull a Saturn?
Well, no.
They're going to pull a fucking Saturn?
There's one underneath your seats. You get a Battletoads. You get a Battletoads.
Oprah's going to be
Oh my god, can Oprah come out and do it? That'd be great.
I want Oprah to come out in a Zitz costume.
She's totally pimple.
Oh, God.
Stedman is fucking Pimple.
Oh, you leave Stedman alone. He is a good man.
Are they still married?
Is that the right name?
Yes.
I didn't even know.
They are not married, sir. They are in a long-term life partnership.
Wait, for real?
Wow.
Yep.
Did not know. I just assumed they were married. Well, that's cool.
Dean, your turn.
Yeah, I can't follow that one up. I guess one of the main things I want to talk about was I think this is going to be the year for like everything is going to be DLC oriented. Destiny's probably going to be a big one. I'm sure they're going to announce like tons of expansions and crap to keep that game going because they really don't want to let that game fucking die. Even though
it is certainly trying to.
Well, I mean, the player base...
Nobody seems to care.
The player base has been dwindling, and even the reviewers are like, no, the game's not dead, we swear, it's good. And everyone's like, yeah, whatever, it's fucking done. But that's...
Dude, Dinklage was bored while he was still recording the track.
Yeah.
You expected us to stay interested this long?
Yeah, so I mean, that was a PS4 exclusive? Or was it both Xbox One and PS4?
It was both consoles, but... PS4 has like timed exclusive DLC.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I've heard about the new crap that came out, and you know they've been trying really hard to get this shit. I think Bungie's gonna come out on stage and be like, "Don't, guys, listen, we got all this crap. There's gonna be all these new items, like level 60 billion legendaries, then these new epic bosses and stuff," and they're gonna hype the shit out of that game so fucking hard. And I guess I'm just going to combine this. I also think Nintendo's going to go with their Treehouse E3 stuff and probably hit hard with Splatoon, listing all the DLC that'll be coming out month to month and giving more detail to what's coming out. Because that game's fucking cool. And, I mean, the reviewers might not have been the friendliest reviews, but everyone is pretty much on the general consensus that the game's good and has potential to be better. And I think Nintendo sees that, and they're going to grab it by the balls and squeeze it for every freaking penny it's worth. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of DLC from that. I think Amiibos are going to be playing a really big thing. And that's all going to tie in together. I think there's going to be a lot of like extra DLC type stuff coming down the line from companies.
It's interesting that you bring up Splatoon and Destiny because I was listening to somebody who was making that comparison. I thought it was very apt that the way that Nintendo's doing the Splatoon DLC and the fact that the game was fairly bare bones at launch is at least in my opinion was clearly intentional. And I don't know if I'm not 100% sold on the idea from a consumer standpoint yet, but from a business standpoint, like it seems to make a lot of sense to very intentionally not fall into the trap that Destiny did, where like, well, here's your game, and you know, deal with it. Now we'll add some stuff later, but they're not hyping it the same way. Whereas Splatoon came out and it was like, straight off the bat, you're going to get this, and then you're going to get a shitload of free DLC. And just hitting people with the idea that you are getting a bunch of free stuff consistently post-launch, it keeps the game in the conversation, you know?
Listen, I mean, I wasn't expecting anything week 2 of the game being out, and they threw out a zapper and a new map, and I was like, yeah, okay, fucking, I love it. Do it. Do more of this. Do this all the time. And then tonight, actually, as we're speaking, I think an hour ago, they just released a new weapon that came out as free DLC. That's great. The game does need some more love and care in like the graphics, not the graphics, the user interface. Like it's a little bit clunky. Some of the equip stuff doesn't work the way you want it to. There's no loadout, so you have to go back out to the lobby if you want to, change your loadout and stuff. But it's very small things, and they can be fixed. It's not broken by any means. So I think Nintendo will be pushing this super hard and letting people know that there's more on the way, what it is, and what else they can buy to attach to this. I definitely think there's going to be more amiibos coming out with this thing, too, because the amiibo part of this game is fucking awesome. Like, firstly, if you beat the single-player game, I'm sorry I'm talking about this so long, I'll go as quick as possible. If you beat the single-player game, you get a bunch of extra weapons and blueprints to buy in-store to get more items. And then on top of that, if you plug your amiibos in, there's extra challenges. And the challenges unlock even cooler stuff and things that can only be unlocked if you have the amiibos, which makes exclusivity a really, really big deal. I can't tell you how bad I want that fucking 3-pack of amiibos because I want to walk around in super awesome Space Marine armor, but I can't because they're sold out fucking everywhere. I don't want to collect them. I want to play with them. I want to play with them. Collectors, you know what? If anyone's listening to this, I've never asked for anything. Buy me this. Find this for me. Buy me it. I'll pay you back. I don't even care. I want them. I want them so bad. I want them. I want them. But yeah, I do.
This is the first. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
This is the first with the amiibos that I've felt that they're anything other than, okay, I guess that's a cool thing. Oh, hey, a Mega Man statue. This is the first time where I've really felt like they are really onto something.
They're built in well.
Really integrating this. It makes sense, and that's on my predictions. Also, I think there is going to be an Amiibos extravaganza.
Oh my god! The amount they've sold, hell yeah!
Yeah, I think they're going to announce the new wave. I think they're going to announce new functionality of the Amiibos, and I think they're going to announce several new titles that are as integrated with the Amiibos as Splatoon is, if not more. Like full games that you play these games with Amiibos, not. You can play with your amiibo with this game, but the whole point of this game is to play with your amiibos.
Right. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of that coming out really, really soon. So I mean,
like almost switching it to kind of like an Xfinity style or Skylanders style kind of thing.
Right, but
so
I mean,
you're calling an amiibo game.
Yes.
I wouldn't doubt that. To be honest, I really wouldn't. And if they could make it to the point where you could just tap your amiibo on and that's it, and you could put it like down or away, that's great compared to, you know, the Infinity stuff where you need to have them constantly on the pad. I do have that right? Because I don't have any of these.
Right, but the Infinity or the Xfinity and the Skylander stuff, the pad is separate. It's not like it's
right,
on the controller.
Right, exactly. It's not integrated. So this would be a lot cooler.
With the Amiibo, you would have to just tap it to your gamepad and then you're done.
Right.
You really be able to do it with it leaving it there.
No,
like
I agree, and I think that's super smart. You know, I think this would be a really cool thing to do. So we'll see what comes down the pike. But yeah, I think Nintendo's going to have a very good E3, especially with the way they went last year with the whole Treehouse thing. I think we're going to see another solid repeat performance. And we got the Nintendo World Championship, so I'm super happy about that too. So yeah, hooray.
You know what would be awesome about that Amiibo thing? Is if you could fucking find them anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into that.
About that.
They can put out whatever the fuck they want to put out, but it doesn't matter because if I can't buy the Little Mac one, I don't fucking care. You know what I mean? Like I am not in the minority here of like, I drifted away from Nintendo as I gravitated more towards Kratos and shit, you know, for the games that I wanted. But now looking back at this stuff, the games that I loved when I was a kid, there may be this functionality for, but if I can't get it, then you've lost me. So I'm hoping that what comes along with this Amiibo shit, because I do think you're right that there is going to be a big Amiibo push, is that they also make the announcement of like, look, we're sorry, we fucked up, our bad. But we're going to fix it.
But they didn't fuck up, though, because they created false demand. They by intentionally withholding the quantities, it's now this huge thing that everybody has to have. So now when they launch the second wave and there are plenty of them out there, they're still going to sell. But how amazing would it be to have like an RPG, but you build your party with your amiibos instead of with, you know, a mage and a fucking whatever inside your Final Fantasy style game? Like, how awesome would it be if your party is like, you have to level up your amiibos and you can be like, okay, for this mission, I'm going to take these 4 guys, and you tap those 4 guys on your gamepad and now you go off on your little thing.
It would certainly be interesting.
Cool.
That's almost like Crystal Chronicles-esque. I think that would be really, really neat. So, I mean, hopefully we'll see what happens.
We will. All right. I'm going to go next. I'm going to stick with the Nintendo thing here because it's the next thing on my list. All right. Zelda's been delayed till next year. As it stands right now, what we know is announced on the Wii U for the rest of this year is going to be Star Fox, which seems like the next big thing. I think Nintendo was comfortable delaying Zelda till next year because they have something else in the works. We have not heard from Retro Studios in a while, so my next prediction is We're going to hear what Retro Studios has been working on. It's going to be out by the end of the year, and it's going to be Star Tropics 3.
Wow.
What? I thought you were going to say Metroid.
No,
I'm
I
gonna
think
predict
everyone's
that you're
expecting. What's that?
I'm going to predict you're wrong.
I'm, you know what? I'm probably wrong. It's a shot in the dark. Something tells me that. All right, Retro did the Metroid Prime games, which were first-person adventures, which were cool. Then they did the Donkey Kong games, which were side-scrolling platformers, which were cool. I think they like to move on to different things that they haven't done yet. They like to try their hands at new things, and I feel like some sort of third-person action game, similar in style to something like a Zelda, but maybe with a little bit more humor, is the next logical step for them to take. Star Tropics has always been an American property. It was developed for America and released here before it was released in Japan. And Retro Studios is an American company. I feel like this is, I don't know, it's just a feeling I have. It's not based on anything other than my want for it to be real. And I mean, because I would love for Star Tropics to come back. It's a great Nintendo IP. The first two games are really, really solid games, but they haven't been anywhere since the NES. Like, not even a cameo in Smash Brothers, which is why this is such a damn long shot. But still, Mike Jones needs to come back. I think Retro Studios is making Star Tropics 3. I think it's coming out before the end of the year, and it's going to work as an interesting hold me over until Zelda comes out.
I have the exact same prediction except with Metroid.
I think that's a bold prediction, Chris. I gotta say, I would have told you for years that there was never going to be another Kid Icarus game, but that was proven wrong too. So I suppose anything's possible.
Yeah, I'm definitely shooting for the stars on that one. But I mean, have you guys played the old Star Tropics games?
Not in like 15 or 20 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say Once Upon a Time. It's pretty long time ago.
Do you have a yo-yo in that game?
Yeah, in the first one you have a yo-yo, and the second one you use like swords and stuff. But they're so funny. They got such great character to them. It's all about dungeon crawling. It's the kind of thing that I feel like could work really well with modern tech. I feel like you could do something with the second screen with that character, your girlfriend, whatever the hell her name was, that's an alien. She could like communicate with you through the gamepad. I don't know, and it just. I don't think Star Fox is their only chip for the rest of the year. You know, obviously we're going to get a couple of other smaller games announced that are going to come out for the rest of this year. Zelda's going to be their big thing for next year. Who the hell knows when? But I feel like they need something else besides Star Fox to really carry it, and I think they're going to try to point it towards something else that is either a revival of an old property or, considering the success of Splatoon, some sort of new IP. But I think they're going to grab. I feel like Retro has looked at their catalog and said, we want to do this. And that they are pointed to, that you can't see me pointing because this is an audio podcast, was a copy of Star Tropics. That's my hope and dream. I feel like it could be totally cool.
I agree that they would be a really good studio for it.
Cool. Well, speaking of Dan, what's your next call?
I predict that Lego Dimensions is something that we know is coming out. I predict that it is going to have a huge presence on the floor and is going to be the thing that convinces all of the rest of us that, yes, in fact, we do need to get into this, like, I tap these little figures and play this shit on the game, and it's going to be really fucking incredible and really well made and not just a gimmick.
I am damn near wetting myself for Lego Dimensions. I am so excited about that I can hardly breathe.
Yeah, that game looks ridiculous.
Yeah, it's basically going to take all the money.
It's certainly going to take all our money.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot, yeah.
I don't have any place to put any more figures. My one amiibo is taking up more room than I had, so yeah.
What I'm more concerned about is that I already have Lego versions of a lot of the things that are in it, so do I have to replace my Lego DeLorean with the new Lego DeLorean, or can I keep them both side by side? Like, what's the protocol there?
Yeah, I guess that's a big question I have about Lego.
Because I have a lot of those already.
Are they also going to just be Legos? Like, will they be usable as Legos?
They are buildable. You have to build the thingies before you can use them.
Oh,
well, and
cool.
I
Yeah.
did see a thing that said, like, for the Batman set that you buy, for example, you will get enough pieces to build the Batmobile, but then you will also be able to take that Batmobile apart and build the Batwing for use in the game, and then take that apart and build, like, the Bat boat, you know? So, like, there will be, like, I think they said at least 3 different levels of functionality to each, like, vehicle thing that you purchase, which I don't know exactly how that's going to work for the Doctor Who set that they've announced, because, you know, like, you build the TARDIS, and
then it's a TARDIS.
then it's just kind of a TARDIS for a while.
Maybe
and
you
everything's
can
blue, but
maybe you can build it a little different, and a different Doctor will pop out of it.
Batman.
but
Or
yeah,
the base of it is actually the base of K9.
there you go.
Aww.
That would be cool. But, like, I think you're going to see a lot of announcements of, like, more stuff that's coming, because they've already announced a decent amount of stuff, but it was stuff that was kind of expected already. Like, the Doctor Who stuff was kind of new and exciting, but
kind of new and exciting.
Well,
that
no,
was shocking.
well, what I'm saying is, like,
incredibly shocking, actually.
they've already got, like, we already got a DeLorean, so it's not,
Even that
super
was
crazy.
shocking.
but it's not super crazy to see that in Lego Dimensions.
It was
'cause
shocking to
that
see
already
Christopher
exists.
Lloyd doing it. That was awesome.
Well, but I think you're going to see, like, an even bigger announcement of shit. Like, I'm hoping that there will be Ghostbusters stuff. I'm hoping that there will be stuff that we
No,
haven't
there won't
even
be any
thought of
Ghostbusters.
yet.
I want to see a Lego Twinkie.
Fuck yeah.
There won't be any Ghostbusters. That's got shit now.
Tell them about the Twinkie.
Ugh.
I don't know.
okay.
I think that's a relatively safe prediction.
Yeah, no,
But I think-
Lego
Yeah.
Dimensions is going to be huge this year. It's going to blow a lot of things out of the water.
I really think that might go home with some, like, best of show awards.
I hope so. I want it to be something really good, you know, because the Lego games are great. Lego City Undercover for Wii U was great, and which went to show that they can create really good original games without the need for an IP on top of it.
Right.
And so now that you have this thing that's going to need a great core that's not tied to a specific IP, it's tied to a bunch. Like, they've proven that they can make a great game. Now they have all this other stuff to add on to it. I think it's got every possibility to be something incredible.
Plus, I'm gonna make Batman drive the DeLorean into the TARDIS, and that's really exciting.
Batman.
Excellent. All right, Tiff, your turn.
Okay. I will go with. Ooh, I don't know which one I'm going to talk about first. We'll start with Psychonauts. I think there is going to be a Psychonauts announcement this year, but I think that it is not going to be the one that we all want. I think they are going to announce an HD remake of Psychonauts instead of a sequel. I don't know why they're dragging their feet so hard on this, but for some reason they really, really are. And I feel like they think, okay, we'll do the upscale, and if that goes well, then maybe we'll talk about doing a sequel. It's either that or Tim Schafer just doesn't have an idea, and maybe he just needs to buy some time. But I do think there's going to be an announcement. I just don't think it's going to be the right one.
Quite frankly, I want Psychonauts 3. I don't want Psychonauts 2. I'm going to skip right over that shit.
It's going to be an upscaled version of the PC version or something like that. Following up on the Final Fantasy's footsteps. Good times.
I'm really hopeful that this happens. I want either sequel or even an HD remaster. Like, I want that game again. It's so good. And I think the problem, though, and we've talked about it before, is that, you know, when Psychonauts came out, yeah, it's got this cult following now, but Psychonauts came out, you could get that in $5 bins.
Well, that's I think part of why maybe they're so gun shy for it, because yes, things have cult followings and whatnot, but it still can be sometimes difficult to get your cult following to open their wallets. So I think they are gun shy, but I do think that they realize that there is a market out there. So that's why I think they're going to try this. It's going to be very similar to Grim Fandango. You know, it won't be terribly expensive, and I think this is how they're going to test the waters for making the decision on whether or not they're going to make a sequel.
Yeah, getting Psychonauts back into the conversation is a good thing for them to do, because I think if they jump, well, they've got an opportunity if they come out with something really impressive looking as Psychonauts 2, like maybe they go the Bayonetta route. Like maybe they do what they did with Bayonetta 2 and just package a remake or something of the first one in with the second one in some way, shape, or form.
That was smart, man. That was really fucking smart on their part.
Yeah, I mean the game didn't light the world on fire sales wise, but it wasn't an unmitigated disaster, which I mean Bayonetta on the Wii U as an exclusive, like that was had every step to be a disaster because it's just such a strange choice. But you know, they handled it well enough, and maybe if they did something like that with Psychonauts, and especially on platforms like, you know, PS4 and Xbox One that have much larger install bases than Wii U, that would be a pretty interesting way of getting the conversation started. But getting that name back out there, the successes they've had with other, you know, HD remakes and stuff like Grim Fandango, I think it's possible. I'd love to see it. I don't know if this is the year, but you know, we'll see.
Tentacle, Fandango, and Psychonauts crossover. It's happening.
Yeah, I was gonna say they've hit at the last three like major. Well, I don't know that the PlayStation Experience was a major show. I think it will be this year, but like at E3 last year, they announced the Grim Fandango remake, and then at PlayStation Experience, they announced the Day of the Tentacle remake.
And they have to know that every time Tim Schafer walks out on stage, everyone is thinking, yes, it's finally happening. It's not happening at all. He said something else. Shit. They have to know that. I'm going to go back and say it again. Do video game companies not have the internet?
No, well,
somebody introduce them to Reddit.
I think they're sadists.
It's just like you said, those kinds of internet outpourings and cult followings don't always translate to sales.
And I think Tim Schafer was really butthurt by what happened to Psychonauts the first time around, and I think he's still a little like, where were all you fuckers then when I needed to pay my mortgage, huh? So I think some of this is revenge and some of it is fear.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a matter of finding a way to do it that lets him make the game he wants to make and get the fans of the game that they want to make. They want him to make.
Oh no, I would be happy with a sequel to The Cave. That game was fucking awesome.
Please don't distract anybody. I need Psychonauts in my life.
You're right. Psychonauts. Fuck The Cave. That game was shit.
Stupid.
All right, Dean, you're up.
All right, guys. This is it. This is the one. I think Lord Gabe Newell will come out in some way, shape, or form. I'm calling it. I'm fucking calling it. Half-Life 3. I'm calling it. It's happening. It's gonna be a thing this year. If it's not, you know what, man? Really, like, just let the hype train go already. Just please, Jesus Christ.
Dean, I'm with you, and I will raise you one step further. Half-Life 3, PS4, and PC exclusive.
Ooh.
I like it. I now I want it to happen. You know what? Just like, fuck, man. You want to, like, if you want dumb as a fucking doorknob, like, just, you're not getting it. People want the game. You're not letting it out, but it'll make fucking millions. That's the game. That's the goddamn game. Half-Life 3. You release that, that's not millions, billions. Everyone will buy that. The motherfucker has his own platform on the PC. He could just be like, oh yeah, here it is. That's it. He could say it'll be out the minute I'm off the stage, and I guarantee you $100 million first 5 minutes. He'll crash fucking Steam. I guarantee you. Son of a bitch.
Wow. You really think this year's gonna be the year, Half-Life 3?
You know what, man? I'm hopeful because they came out with that Half-Life 2 remake, and if they weren't at least poking around with the idea of maybe a Half-Life 3, there would have been no reason to bring that out. Like, there had to have been something going around with their heads like, yeah, we're doing something. You guys can have this in the meantime. There's got to be something going on, man. They've been hinting at it with bits and pieces for so fucking long. Come on. Really? Like, Gabe Newell, big fan of the show. Please, man, just let it happen. Just unleash the Kraken, bro. Just let it go. Oh, yeah, I think so. I want to be a believer, man. Dan wants to be a believer. Come on.
I do, and I've never even played the first two.
I will be on board with Half-Life 3 if it is the culmination of Half-Life and Portal.
It could be. I mean, they're in the same universe.
Half-Life 2 had the physics gun.
Yeah.
So
Half Portal 7. I'm in.
Yes, have Portal 7. Plaff.
Wow, maybe some sort of weird crossover thing is
Platform.
actually the threequel there. Half-Life 3 and Portal 3 are the same game.
Gordon Freeman meets the prisoner chick.
Shell, yeah, Gordon and Shell could go on to live happily ever after, except I don't think they occupied the same timeline even a little bit, but they could. So
Time portals.
let's do that.
Time Portal. Yeah, let's do it. Time Portal 4.
Oh, there you go. That's what happens. Spoiler alert. That's what happens when you portal to space. You get time portals.
Oh, Time Portal 4 Crisis. Cross it over, make it a battle arena shooter. I'm in.
No, I've got it. Half portal convergence.
Oh,
Ooh.
that worked out so well for DC. Wait, is Gabe Newell moving across the country and he needs to fucking fill time for 2 months?
Yes, that's
I
it.
don't know, but half portal is a great name. Like, you get the orange button, but not the blue one. You're like, I don't even know what I'm doing with this. It's pointless.
I'm just making orange
literally
ovals
impossible.
everywhere. This is useless.
All right, yeah, Half-Life 3. I'm calling it. You know, if it's not, I'm not going to be disappointed because, I mean, well, fuck, man. We've been saying that for like the last 10 years, but please?
No,
Pretty
I'm
please?
with you. I'm serious. PS4 and PC exclusive. They've done crossover shit with. They did it with Portal 2, where PS4 or PS3 and PC players could play together, but not Microsoft. Like, they have a decent working relationship on this kind of thing.
I'd like for it to happen. Let's keep your fingers crossed, people.
Damn.
I'm in.
I'm in too, yeah. Let's do it. Portal.
I'll buy it and
Half-Life
never
3.
play it.
Well, if it's tied to Portal, I'll play it. Because Portal's amazing.
At least
All right,
let Joko
everyone.
do the songs.
Let's take ourselves a break. We're going to take a break for a few minutes. We're going to come back. We're going to do a few more predictions. We're going to call it a night. Stick around. And now here's a look at some of the other original content available right now at geekade.com.
First up, Geekade's Samantha Ahern took a trip to Wizard World Philadelphia, where she partook in as many activities as she could fit into a day. What were her impressions of the event? Read Wizard World Philadelphia, a first-timer's experience, to find out.
Next, Google held their annual I.O. event, and the app enthusiasts weren't there. But hey, they were there in spirit, so they also brought... Wow, I'm fucking this always up. Let's try this again. I can't read.
You got the app.
Pick up where you left
Did
off.
you get
Okay.
the
They also... Oh, God, come on. Get it together, Dean.
We believe in you.
They also bought
don't.
Splatoon... Okay. They also bought Splatoon for the Wii U. I have Splatoon. I'd like to talk to them about the Splatoon for the Wii U. Hear Brandon and Travis, though, talk about it in this week's episode of Apathetic Enthusiasm. Splitoogle. Fuck me.
Wait. No, this officially calls for. This officially calls for. Good job.
I want the Price is Right sound effect.
Okay, moving on. The classic Jean-Claude Van Damme Dolph Lundgren cinematic masterpiece that is Universal Soldier is loved by all. One might think the Sega Genesis adaptation would have enjoyed a similar fate, but no. Universal Soldier for Sega Genesis has a dark secret, and that secret sounds an awful lot like Turrican 2. And not Dolph Lundgren's sweaty ass.
Ugh.
Does he have a sweaty ass? Have you seen
I don't
his
know,
ass?
but do you know that guy's like a genius?
Yeah, he has like a super high IQ, and isn't he like a fucking rocket scientist, or doesn't he have a PhD in something?
Yeah.
Fucking, why is he acting? What does he need to act for?
He is smart, sexy, and has a flat top you could cut glass with. I mean, he's the total package.
Ivan Drago is my spirit animal.
He doesn't shave his eyebrows like Guile, though.
I must be very cute. If he dies, he dies. Fuck, Rocky 4 is a good movie. Holy
Well,
shit.
let's get back on topic.
Remember when Brigitte Nelson was attractive?
Yes.
Anyway, if you want to hear more about that, read Lost in Time, Universal Soldier. Because we're not just talking about Van Gogh.
Sorry, I didn't. Yeah,
Oh, she didn't say the last part. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to fucking go into
Lost in
sweaty
Time,
asses.
Universal Soldier.
Finally, our Twitch page has been smothered in paint all week thanks to the release of Splatoon.
Pop pop.
He's been doing that. Been playing ranked matches and painting squids like there's no tomorrow. And now you can catch all the action right on our site. That's right, Geekade's Twitch page is now conveniently linked right in our main menu. So keep an eye on our social media for when the Vest Lord is going to be on, and subscribe to our channel for great justice. You can catch all this great content plus tons of other articles, videos, podcasts, and more exclusively at geekade.com. Hi everyone! With South Jersey Geek Fest and Atlantic City Boardwalk Con behind us, Geekade's summer tour is half over, but the biggest events are still to come. First, we're going to be at Too Many Games at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center on June 26th, 27th, and 28th. We'll be at the StoneAgeGamer.com's booth, and we're even hosting a live panel at the event. Then, on July 25th and 26th at the William G. Menon Sports Arena in Morristown, New Jersey, Geekade is taking over Garden State Comic Fest 2015. We'll be hosting another live panel, as well as walking the show floor and doing all sorts of fun things with everyone we meet. Don't read too much into that. So come out and meet us all live in person. We might even have some cool swag to give away. See you there. And we are back. We're going to do another couple of rounds of predictions. I'm going to jump right in, and I'm going to say the next Call of Duty game will be announced, but it's going to be in space.
Yes.
If it
Yes.
is anything like Jews in space, I'm so in. I haven't bought Call of Duty in years, but
Is it gonna be like Call of Duty Halo Edition?
It's going to be so serious. They're going to be taking themselves so serious. It's going to be hysterical. They're going to be like, this is the most bro-y space stuff you've ever seen in your life, and it's going to be all like realistic warfare in space. And they're gonna go to Mars or something, and it's gonna look just like Afghanistan. It's gonna be horribly racist. It's gonna be a disaster. But it's gonna be, because they already did like kind of looking into the future with some of the tech and whatnot. I'm just thinking they're gonna put it on a fucking rocket ship, Call of Duty in space.
Just strap machine guns to rocket
but,
ships.
like-
That's it.
But every now and again, could the Space Corps float by and just be like, space from Portal 2? That would be awesome.
That should
I
float
think
by
Portal
every
should
game
be in
and do
every
that.
game this year.
Next prediction: Portal in every game
I
this
would
year.
actually really be into a hyper racist space version of Call of Duty. That sounds so fucking funny.
Can you just go around and kill all the races from Star Wars?
From episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can kill all the weird Asian-looking ones and all of
Go to
the
Naboo,
horrible.
Call of Duty Naboo.
Yeah. Yeah. Just try to murder as many bad racial stereotypes as you possibly can.
Be the hero of the galaxy.
Nah, like, seriously, all joking aside, I think they're going to announce the next Call of Duty game. I think it's going to have something to do with space. And I think they're going to think it's the best idea ever. They're going to be, like, as absolutely serious as they can be about it. And I think that might be it. I think they will have jumped the shark, and people might stop buying Call of Duty.
Well, I mean, come on, man. Just you did fucking you did so many things. Now you're bringing back fucking Tony Hawk. Stop it. Come out with new things. I don't want old things.
Dare you?
What?
How dare you?
What?
Tony Hawk is delightful.
Yeah,
He is a
one
little
Tony
bit, though.
Hawk was delightful. Not 8 of them, not Project Wasteland, not Project 8, not Ride, not any of those stupid ones. You know what was good? 1, 2,
Yeah, but
3,
this-
and 4. I didn't need the 7 others
That's what
after
this
that.
one is going to be. This is going to be Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
Yeah, that's what you think till it comes out and it's bad.
It's not going to be bad. It's going to be amazing. You shut your whore mouth.
Wow.
Dan,
I need it to be good.
Dan,
I need it to be
you
good.
know what? When you're upset and you're like, it's bad, Dean, you can come cry on my shoulder.
He'll just
All right.
fire up
Or,
Ollie
like-
Ollie and play that for a while.
No, that's true.
Weren't there like spray painting challenges in the last?
Yeah, in the
one?
last one there was.
What? What?
I miss Jet Set Radio.
That's the thing. You can only go so
the
far. The game just it'll break itself, and that's what happened when you're releasing one so close to each other every year, and you're trying to do new things. It's not always gonna work out, and it's a skateboarding game. There's not really that much you could do. So they were like, let's try graffiti. Let's hang on the back of cars. Let's not have them skateboard. Let's have them walk around a little bit. And I'm like, what are you doing? Stop it. That doesn't even make sense.
Why is Margera in a parkour simulator?
Absolutely ridiculous.
Oh God. All right.
I wish
well,
that sentence weren't true, but
Call of
so
Duty
Call of
in
Duty
space. Yeah, that's gonna be a
Awesome.
thing.
Dan, you're up.
I predict. I think this is another safe prediction, but I predict at least 5 or 6 times during the show. Again, some dick in a suit will be giving his presentation and will say, "And you can get it right now." Like that's a thing anybody gives a shit about, and it'll be for some games that nobody cares about, but it's going to happen a lot because I think what we were saying earlier about pushing digital and pushing DLC and all that stuff, I think you're going to see quite a bit of that this year.
I would have to agree with Dan there. I do feel like we're probably going to see a whole bunch of that because the push for digital has been huge. I mean, to be honest, I got a free Witcher 3 and Batman before they even came out, and the day that they came out, I got emails from Witcher being like, "You could download this now. Oh my God, just go and do it." Big letters everywhere. Witcher, Wild Hunt. Download now. Download now. And I'm like, oh my God, calm down. I get it. You gave me the game for free. Dude, that's... All right, Chris, I'm not going to lie. You gotta fucking put a reverb on my voice so it does that. Please.
Try my best.
Sunday.
But yeah, I mean, that's just a huge thing, and I think that's probably going to be way bigger at E3, you know, for the smaller companies, because they're not going to make the splash that the Call of Duties, the Assassin's Creeds, all of those are going to have. So the ability to be like, this game's out now, you can play it, is going to be the biggest appeal that they have going for them.
Yeah, and I think it can be a good thing in certain respects, but a lot of times it's just reserved for like the PlayStation experience. The EA guy came up on screen and he was like, "We're giving away free games. You could go download them right now to your consoles." And it was like, "Oh, good. You gave me a free copy of Mirror's Edge. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on."
Except that I
came
can't.
out 10 years ago.
Except that I can't get it right now because millions of people are watching this and all of your servers just crashed.
Yup.
I mean, I appreciate free shit, but a lot of times it's done poorly. So
don't paint a turd gold, man. You know, like Mirror's Edge, don't get me wrong, it was an alright game, it was cool, but you're gonna...
It's a nauseating game.
It certainly is that. I can't even be in the room when it's on.
Well, that's the thing, you know, a lot of people had issues with that, and like I said, I mean, some of it wasn't really going all that well. Like, as far as the mechanics went, it didn't always work the way you wanted it to. And then to be like, yeah, we're gonna give you all this free stuff, and then you go online, it's fucking Mirror's Edge. It's like, really? Like, that's kind of like you showed a lollipop in my face, and you took it away and kicked me in the balls.
Yeah, now, like, if they come out, and there's no way that this is going to happen, but if at the Sony conference they brought out the team that's making No Man's Sky and they announced that you could get it that day, I would fucking shit rainbows because I'm so excited for that game.
Could you make sure that you do that outside? Like, I don't even know what the cleanup for that would be.
It would be intense and it would be sexy.
A black hole mop.
But, like, I really don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I would love for that to happen. No Man's Sky, I can get that today. Awesome. But it's going to be, Microsoft is going to come out and say, like, hey, you remember that game that we mentioned last year, like Phantom Dust, that nobody gave a shit about? Yeah, you can get that now. Nobody still cares, but fuck it, it's there.
Yeah, you're right. There's going to be a ton of shit like that, and unfortunately, I don't think it's going to have the desired effect that the companies will want them to. Hopefully, you know what, to be honest, I got to say there will probably be one big title out of all this. that will, you know, have a positive effect rather than just like a meh type of deal.
I hope so.
I
hope
know
it's a
one
nice
dude.
guy.
I know a dude. His name is Ed, and he's a big fan of Phantom Dust.
Yeah.
Like, he's the only
So
dude
Ed
I
will
ever
be
knew.
excited. Good for you, Ed.
But yes, good for you, Ed. When they announced that last year, I contacted him straight away. I was like, "Yo, Ed, Phantom Dust." He was excited.
Ed, you need to send us an email, and we need to talk about your life's direction, son.
All right, Tiff, you're next.
All right, I have one more game prediction and I have a hardware prediction. So I will start with the game prediction. I think that they are going to reveal the new Star Wars game.
Which new Star Wars game?
The new Star Wars game?
Not Battlefront, but
not Battlefront. Like there will be big announcement. Dun, 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 Star Wars game. I think that it is going to take place in the new movie universe, but I don't think it is going to be movie storyline because I think the game is going to come out before the movie, and I think it is going to be an open world adventure, Knights of the Old Republic style kind of thing, but it's going to take place in the new movie universe.
All right.
To be honest, I think a lot of companies now sort of avoid going after, well, not what you're saying, Tiff, but I think a lot of companies actually sort of avoid doing the movie video game just because they tank and they don't make money anymore.
Right.
I think
And
gamers are
Star
too...
Wars. Yeah.
Right,
But
I get it, but I think what Tiff is saying is completely plausible, that there will be something that ties in loosely to the game, but it'll probably be better and stand on its own legs. I think, yeah, I could totally see something being announced.
Yeah, look, you put the Star Wars logo on shit like the Viceroy action figure from Star Wars Episode 1 sold millions.
Fucking Star Wars Connect sold, didn't it? And that was an abomination to
Sure.
God.
Masters of Terras Kasi was a fucking greatest hit, so there you go.
Ugh.
Well, like I think they're anxious to get started with this, and I think they're anxious to get into this new movie universe, but at the same time, they can't do it too closely because it's gonna spoil all kinds of crap, and you don't want to do that. You want people to still be excited about your movie and not just, oh well, I just watched the movie in this video game. So it can't follow the plot line at all. But I think there is going to be character overlap. It's probably not going to involve, you know, the core 3 characters of the movie, but I think there will be character overlap with characters that are appearing in the movies, and I think it's going to expand on the new movie universe, get us all kind of acquainted again with that universe and pretend like the prequels didn't exist and whatnot, and get us all back in that mindset. In time.
Almost like an Enter the Matrix type of thing, but not
yeah, yeah.
That could be really cool. Some sort of open world Star Warsy game, just being able to run around in that post Return of the Jedi universe.
I just
Yeah,
want a
and
Star
then
Wars
once-
game filled
Cool.
with bullet time.
And then once the movies come out, at that point you could start having DLC packs that do more closely tie in for the movie. So if you could have whoever Danny Boyega is playing in the movie, and you could have the girl, and let's not speculate here on what this movie is actually going to be, but as the movies start to come out and as
Girl?
the spin-offs,
I hope it's a musical.
you know, nothing would surprise me at this point. But then you could start getting DLC for the actual characters after you've seen the movie, and now you can go on side missions that actually do correlate with the movies and really start building a cohesive world that encompasses the games and the comics and the movies and the spin-offs and the, you know, everything that they go with it. I really feel like they're trying to do like a Marvel type thing with Star Wars.
Yeah, they're definitely working towards some sort of major synergy. Like, I mean, they've officially decided what is and isn't canon and all that jazz. So that could be. I'd like to see that. It's a cool prediction.
I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy it for $2.
Ooh,
All right, Dean, you're next.
big fucking spender.
Yeah, so I think this one is... There's like a 50-50 chance. I think we're going to see a Dark Souls announcement come out. Maybe not much. I'd say maybe just a teaser trailer. But I think
Dark Souls 3?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a Dark Souls 3 announcement. Because there's been... I think there was a leaked screenshot or something today, or someone claiming to have footage of Dark Souls. And if it's in any way real, I think we're probably going to see some sort of Dark Souls thing. Also, it's fucking Dark Souls. They're going to try running it into the ground like everything else. So, yeah, I do think there will be a Dark Souls 3 announcement, even if it's just a teaser. I believe there'll be something, because that game is just huge. It's a hardcore gamer's wet dream / horrible nightmare.
Is it a
I
console
didn't like it.
exclusive? Is it some sort of multi-platform thing? What do you think?
No, Dark Souls will be multi-platform, and I think it'll be strictly on consoles for. Yeah, I'm gonna say strictly on consoles. I had to think about it because I remember the last one. I think it came out on consoles before PC, and I think it was like that on the original Dark Souls as well. And the original Dark Souls definitely did not play nice with the PC version.
Huh.
So I do think there will be some sort of Dark Souls announcement, most likely on consoles. I think there's a very, very big chance of that, because Dark Souls is just this huge, juggernaut right now, and it's one of those games that it has the makings to turn into something very, very large very quickly. I mean, to be honest, it already has. It's a blockbuster game, so I think it's going to be one of those that'll get at least announced or teased.
Okay. So you don't think
I
we're
don't
going to
get
see
the Dark Souls thing?
Yeah, I don't get it either.
I played Demon Souls and I liked it, and then I played Dark Souls and I liked it more. I didn't play Dark Souls 2 yet, but I mean, I like it. It's cool. It's open world. It's difficult, but it's not too difficult to the point where, it's ridiculous. If you're careful, it's a lot of fun, but
See, I think I'm just really tired of open world games.
I don't know, man. I played this at a time where, I mean,
you wanted No Man's Sky.
Well,
I know.
Demon Souls was...
No Man's Sky's a different animal. No Man's Sky looks amazing.
Excuse me, that's open universe.
Yeah, that's way better.
Open worlds.
Yeah, I mean, Demon Souls was something at a time where there really wasn't that much open world, and I mean, the franchise has grown from there, and the games are really good. They're solid. They work well. They're huge, and it's sort of more of a linear path than something like The Witcher. The Witcher, you can kind of do anything you want. Same thing like Skyrim. Dark Souls is way more tied in and tight. So I think
I played Demon Souls. I played Dark Souls. You're right. They're good. I don't know. I just don't get the hype around them.
Clearly not for me.
I feel the same way about Skyrim though. Like I played Skyrim and I was okay. That's all right.
Yeah. Also not for me.
Yeah.
They're not for everyone, but I mean, people love those games. There's no doubt about that. They just have a huge cult following, and I think Dark Souls is one of those games, and it definitely has been getting closer release dates, because, I mean, Demon Souls to Dark Souls, there was a bit of a gap. Then Dark Souls to Dark Souls 2, there was a pretty short gap. And to be honest, I think this is at least going to be teased, and then maybe like a 2017 release or something like that.
All right, Dan, you're up.
I'm going to go.
No, I'm up.
Well,
I can't count.
I'm going now.
Go ahead. You go.
All right. I'm going to go with another PS4 announcement because, I'm a Sony fanboy, so that's fine. I am going to predict that they will come out and announce a price cut for the 500 gigabyte model of PS4, while at the same time announcing a 1 terabyte model for the current $400 price.
I'd like that. That would get me to buy a PS4.
I think that's absolutely happening. There's no question in my mind. That's happening.
I could see, I don't know if it'll be $100 price cut, but I know they want to keep their foot on Microsoft's neck, as it were. And I know Microsoft has outsold Sony a couple months this year, and I really see Sony just kind of going for the kill here with that.
If they come out with a terabyte, it had better be at least $100 cut.
Yeah, I would think so.
I could see that. I mean, a $300 5 gigabyte, $400 terabyte. I think that's
it's been 2 years now. Is it 2 years or is it 1 year?
2 years.
Yeah, it's time.
Yeah, it's time. No, I think that's a lock. I would be shocked if they don't come out with their 1 terabyte and price drops accordingly. I would be shocked and amazed.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be shocked if Microsoft doesn't do the same. Quite
True.
honestly. But I think you're right. I think you're right that I'm right. That's
Hasn't the bone already reduced?
It was reduced for like a limited time around Christmas, and then it went back up for a month, and then it went back down like $50.
I thought it reduced
something like that
really quickly. I thought I remember reading that story going, "Ooh, ouch."
I don't know. Microsoft, like, unfortunately, Microsoft is just so far off my radar right now. They have literally nothing I'm interested in, except for like, which is just a really weird indie title.
To be honest, if I had to pick one at this point, I'd probably pick the PS4. There's nothing on the 360 that makes me want to buy that. And I'm sorry, not 360, the Xbox One. And the thing is, like, I loved my 360. I thought that was the greatest thing ever. And for me to, like, just switch, place. I mean, I'm not a fanboy. I guess that's why. Like, I've never really stuck to one console. So... there has to be a good selling point to these things, and if they drop the price on the PS4, there's no reason for me not to get it. Like, it's just...
No, it's a great system, and, like, we owned, I mean, collectively in the time that Tiff and I have been together, we had a PS2 and an Xbox, we had a PS3 and a 360, and we have a PS4.
With no interest in getting
zero interest in the Xbox One. And
in fact, we only had our 360 for probably 8 or 9 months before we got rid of it. Because honestly, the only benefit to the 360 that I saw is that I really liked their interface. Like, it was way easier to watch Netflix and HBO Go and that kind of crap on the 360. I had this really cool keyboard attached to my controller, so I could actually spell out the titles when searching for something.
Well,
I used it way more for that than ever.
Their online integration was fantastic on the 360. It was just done very well. Even from the beginning, it was done to a point of where, like, it was usable, it was easy to get to your friends. It was, I guess...
Yeah, it was certainly better than Sony's and Nintendo's.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the playing field has been, reset, and Sony came out harder this generation than Xbox did.
Yeah, and
I have no interest. I mean, I could see myself getting a PlayStation 4 at some point in the future. It's not in the cards for me right now, not even by a long shot. But if I look at the PlayStation 4 and think, yeah, I wouldn't mind having one of those. And then I look at the Xbox One and think, well, it plays Killer Instinct. And I love Killer Instinct, but I don't love this Killer Instinct. But the completionist in me wants Killer Instinct. Yeah, it's not worth $500.
Yeah, like, I look at it and think, Titanfall doesn't look that good.
Is anyone still even playing that fucking game?
It's a stupid name. It's a dumb name for a console.
And I'm sure, like, the only game that upsets me that is a timed exclusive is Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like, that I'm pretty bummed about, because I really loved the Tomb Raider reboot that came out. But whatever, like, that's not enough to buy that system. So
it's only
even
timed,
with
though,
the price,
right? Like, it just means that
as far as I know,
it's like 6 months later we'll get it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's a matter of time. Like, it'll release on the PC, it'll release on the PS4, it'll come out in other things. It's not going to stay just on the 360.
It better, because I love that game, but I'm not buying a bone.
All right, I'm jumping in. This is a long shot. Smash Brothers survey winners are going to be announced. Banjo-Kazooie will be Smash Brothers DLC, along with the Banjo games showing up on Wii U Virtual Console and corresponding amiibo.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you do it. Oh, God, I fucking hate you for just even bringing that. Fuck you. Why'd you have to say that? Now it's in my head. It's in my fucking head, and I'm like, that's a possibility. That could be. You know what, Chris? That could happen. Why can't it happen? Fuck you. Damn it. Shit. I want that to happen.
The folks at Microsoft said there was like a tweet when they announced that Smash survey. They're like, we'd be willing to talk about putting Banjo in Smash Brothers. Let's throw some votes on there. And they've worked together in the past. But I'm saying they're going whole hog. I'm saying that there's going to be some sort of handshake that gets Banjo-Kazooie in Smash Brothers with the old Banjo games. That franchise feels so much more at home on Nintendo consoles than Microsoft. It's ridiculous. And not many people besides Dean liked Banjo nuts and bolts. So I think that I don't think this is going to happen, but I want this to happen. I don't think I think there's a better chance of swinging across hell on a string of snot than this happening. But I want this to happen. I want it to be
an interesting visual.
You know what, Chris? I'm going to take yours like I did with Dean. I'm going to take yours and raise it up a step further. Not only are Nintendo going to announce that is going to happen, but they will announce that they have purchased certain properties back from Rare.
Fuck you! Stop saying these things!
I have you guys' long shot beat by a mile.
All right. I like it. All right, Tiff. I want to hear what's your long shot.
Okay. I think that Nintendo is going to announce this secret new project that they've been working on with the code name that I don't even remember what it is now.
NX.
Yeah. I think. Picture the scene. You want to sit down and play some new Super Mario Bros. Wii U. There's a few levels on that where it is beneficial for you to play 2-player. But you don't have any friends. So what are you supposed to do? Well, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to pick up controller number 2, and you're supposed to plug it into Rob 2.0.
I knew you were going there.
Who will play as your NPC second player, full AI, will actually play along with you any game on the Wii U.
I'm gonna have a little mini Rob just hanging out next. I get to have a robot best friend, is what you're saying?
Yes, and every now and again, he might even talk some playful shit.
Stop!
Brand new robotic operating buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to play games with you.
He will play the games with you. It will activate the computer AI second player in the game, and he will play along with you.
And not just the 2 games he comes with?
Not just the 2 games he comes with.
Gyromite 2.0.
Any Nintendo game. It's already in there. They've already laid the groundwork. It's happening.
Is he also an amiibo?
I think they will announce an amiibo for him, but he himself will not be an amiibo.
The amiibo goes inside him like a transformer.
Oh my god, like he pops open his little chest plate and it's just sitting in there being all cute.
It's like fucking Optimus Prime.
Robception.
Yes.
Robception.
Wow.
Yep, that's my big announcement, the Rob reboot.
That's far more plausible than mine.
Well, I gave Gaben a shout out. Hopefully, Newell's listening out there. Big fan of the show, Gabe Newell.
Wow. All right. I would love it. I would love to see that be a thing. Love for that to be real. Anyway, all right, Dean, what's your outlandish prediction?
This is the last one, right? I'm wrapping this up.
If this is the last one you got, this is the last one you got. Go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna tie it back down to something more serious. There's gonna be some legit DNA stuff going on. There has to be. They did a little bit about it. There's got to be more coming out. They have to have more to talk about here. DNA was this thing like they pretty much like just started giving us little bits and pieces. We know about it. There needs to be more. Like this can't just be something they're like, yep. And we're going to talk about video games, and yeah, I guess that's it. You guys wanted to know about, DNA? Nah, we're not doing anything with that yet. Don't worry about it. They have to have something planned, or at least
so. I don't think it's going to happen. I know they've got plans. I don't think they're going to touch.
I want a long shot. I'm calling it a long shot. I don't think they're going to
touch NX or DNA. I think they just had that Nintendo Direct that's all 3DS. I think they're going in guns blazing on Wii U. I think that is their prime focus, and any talk of NX is going to take the conversation away from Wii U.
I wouldn't even want the NX, like, because DNA is their mobile thing. The NX, like, it wouldn't kill me if they talked about it, like, the NX, but I'd like to hear just maybe a little bit about it or something. Again, I understand what you're saying, and I have no problem with them going whole hog on Wii U, because I'd like to see a lot more stuff coming out on it, and by I mean a lot, I mean, like, everything fucking possible. But, yeah, you know, I'd like to know a little bit more. I guess it's sort of a long shot, But yeah, I mean, they piqued my curiosity. Like, I want to see what they're gonna do with it. So here's to hoping.
All right, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think they might mention it in passing and say something like, "We're not talking about this." Like I think the only DNA talk you're gonna get is people trying to get Reggie to talk about it in interviews and him saying no.
Fucking Reggie. Fuck. I want that
right,
Travis kid back.
That kid was awesome. What's your balls out crazy prediction, Dan?
All right. Well, I've got a couple more. Do you want me to give you those first, and then?
Yeah,
whatever.
But I mean, I have like a handful that I want to rapid fire off.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
we need
sure,
to talk
sure.
about them. I'll just rapid fire them. So yeah, you go first, Dan. What do you got?
All right. Sony's Project Morpheus VR headset will get a release date, price, and launch lineup announced. We will see the new IP from Guerrilla Studios, famous for Killzone. I think they're pretty much done with making the Killzone games, so
Good.
we're gonna move on to something else. I think you will see a rare HD collection from Microsoft. So like fucking Perfect Dark, and I don't know, maybe even some upscaled versions of the old Battletoads games might be on something like that. I don't know. I think there will be some love shown to Rare this year. I think we're going to see Gears of War 4 announced. I agree with Dean. I think we're going to see some Nintendo mobile stuff that's out there. I think EA is going to give a big tease at the end of their presentation for Mass Effect 4. I am relatively positive that Sony will announce Gran Turismo 7 and people will pretend like they give a shit again. I think we'll get the Rise of the Tomb Raider release date, which will probably be holiday of this year. I think we will get the No Man's Sky release date, which will also be holiday of this year. And my big, bold, crazy out there prediction is that The Last Guardian will be out on the PS4 for the holiday this year. Which is why I said
Fucking dreaming.
Bob 2.0 is far more fucking plausible than that game ever coming out.
Yeah,
But
I'd
that's
have to
my
agree.
bold prediction.
That's the new Duke Nukem Forever.
God, actually, what I hope happens is that they get the fucking whatever the guy's name is who runs Team Ico, and he comes out and in broken English says, and you can download it right now. That's what I fucking want to happen.
Yes, and it's a Vita exclusive now.
No.
It's a
Regular
PSP Go exclusive.
That's right. PSP Go. Go fucking buy that shit. No, I actually think we're gonna get Last Guardian this year. I really do.
Huh. Yeah, keep dreaming.
If that happens, I win the prediction show. By the way, just putting that out there.
I love it. I love all these predictions. Yeah, and you know, it's a lot of these things seem obvious now that you mention them, but I didn't even think about Mass Effect 4 or Gran Turismo and stuff. I didn't even think about that stuff. New IP from Guerrilla Studio too. That's a good call. I forgot all about those guys because
It's time.
It is time, and it's time for them to do. Like, it's not like they're not a talented team, you know. But fucking
Killzone's
Killzone,
fine.
move on.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
It's
Yeah,
fine,
it's
and
a
that's
great game.
all it's ever been is
But
fine,
because-
and that's the problem with it. It was the Halo killer, and it was that was what it was like hyped as or whatever, and it never was. It never was. It can never be. It's just Killzone.
No,
It's good. It's good enough. It needs to be something bigger. All right. Anybody else got any extra quick fire ones they want to throw on before we call it a night? Before I do mine.
Nah, I'm good, man. Fire away.
All right. Earthbound collection. It's gonna happen. They're gonna officially localize Earthbound 0 as the original Mother and Mother 3 as Earthbound 2. They're gonna call it the Earthbound collection. Have all three of the games in it. It's gonna be a downloadable title. It's gonna be on 3DS and Wii U, and it's gonna be cross-buy. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is going to be mentioned, and then it's gonna disappear for another 5 years.
That's probably a lock.
That's probably a lock. We're gonna get a logo or a mention or something. That's it. Electronic Arts is going to finally drop the Madden name and try to brand their NFL games as EA NFL, whatever the hell year it is, because I think they're tired of dishing out whatever money Madden requires for that to be a thing. And I don't think they feel that they need it anymore. I think they're finally going to just drop it and be done with it. The Doom 4 beta is going to be finally announced, and it's going to be available before the end of June. There's going to be a new Mega Man game that ties into the new cartoon that was just announced. And because of the whole Smash Brothers appearance and whatnot, I think it's going to be some kind of Nintendo exclusive. I think Rare's going to bring back Wizards and Warriors for Xbox One. It's going to be violent as hell, but it's also going to look sad and generic. And it's going to make me want to cry, but I think that's going to happen.
So Fable?
Yeah, so Fable, except with Kyros in it. This is a wacky one, all right? Follow me on this. Konami announces 2 Human 2 and 2 Human Remastered. Because of their previous work with Silicon Knights, they want to reaffirm that they're going to be making console games, and they have done some sort of weird partnering thing, and they're going to finish the 2 Human trilogy, and they're going to remaster/remake the first 2 Human to make it a decent game.
All the while managing their gyms that they care so much about.
Exactly. Kingdom Hearts 3. No, go ahead.
Konami is going to try and put themselves out of business like forever now.
Faster.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think this is a terrible idea, but I say they're going to go for it.
All right.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to get silly spin-offs before it's actually released, each one of them with a more pretentious name than the previous, including a prelude game for the 3DS and mobile that they're going to tie directly into Kingdom Hearts 3, which will be announced for a 2019 release. World War II first-person shooters are going to come back, and Activision is going to try to spearhead the return of the World War II first-person shooters, because in addition to Call of Duty in space, they're going to make a new Call of Duty World War II game.
Man, have I missed bolt-action rifles.
Boy, haven't we all. Sega will not announce a new Sonic game this year. There will be no sequels to Sonic Boom. It's dead.
Good. Fucking good. And you know what? While they're at it, kill the comic off, too.
They're gonna kill all of it off. Show, comic, game. They're gonna cancel the shit out of it, and Sonic's gonna get the year off, except for the Mario and Sonic of the Olympics that they already announced.
All while announcing the Dreamcast 2.
Yes,
they're back in the console business, baby.
Don't even joke of such things. I'm sorry, Chris. Go on.
Sony's gonna resurrect Siphon Filter, but it's gonna be a Vita exclusive.
I'm fine with that.
I'd be okay with it. I would rather it be a
game.
big old console release, but I feel like they're just not ready to give it the whole hog treatment. So yeah, Sony's bringing back Siphon Filter, but it's only going to be on Vita. And finally,
that was really fun.
Those were games. They were good games. Yes, they were games. Good was what I meant to say. I never liked the way that character ran. He had a very strange running animation, but Siphon Filter was good stuff, and I'm kind of surprised that it's been dormant as long as it has.
Yeah, Medieval too.
Yeah, Medieval. What the hell's up with that? Give us more Medieval.
Anyway,
make it happen. All right, my last one, and this one's close to home. I really want this to be a thing, and I want it to be good. I just before I make this prediction, Eidos is still involved in the Tomb Raider thing, right? Is it Eidos or is it Crystal Dynamics or whatever the fuck?
It's Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix.
Okay, those people are going to announce an actual, honest to goodness, real life, holy shit amazeballs, Legacy of Kain reboot. And I'm not talking about Nosgoth, that MMO thing that takes place in that universe. They're going to take the engine they use for the new Tomb Raider games. They're going to apply it to a totally freaking awesome Legacy of Kain reboot. It's going to be for PS4 and Xbox One, and it's going to melt everyone's faces off.
So they're going to make The Witcher 3?
Dan, stop it.
I know. I love that game.
It was a good game.
Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen, and Soul Reaver. Those were fucking dope.
Oh, Soul Reaver was so good. Defiance was good. I loved that series. The mythology in that series was really good. The art direction was really good. Some of the mechanics weren't phenomenal, but it was like early 3D adventure platformer, whatever the hell type stuff. Like, there was growing pains to be sure, but a modern take on that stuff could be astounding.
New Croc game.
Did he yell? Like when you would teleport or whatever? He fucking yelled something. I can't remember that. Oh, it sounded really badass.
I don't remember. I remember Raziella being like the coolest looking character ever, and like I love the way he impaled dudes and sucked in souls, and that game, those games were cool. I never really got into Blood Omen too much. Blood Omen 2 was pretty cool, but I never played through it. The original Blood Omen the loading times just made that game unplayable. But dude, Legacy of Kain, that game needs to come the hell back. And after they did such a great job with that new Tomb Raider, like Legacy of Kain is that other property from the old IDOS crew that needs to come back. Just needs to.
Well, that and Fighting Force.
No, I said needs to come back.
No, stop.
Not needs to stay dead.
Dan, that's like saying, oh my god, State of Emergency needs to come back.
Oh,
Yeah, Rockstar needs to hop right the fuck back on that game.
we need more
terrible.
Dino Grazes.
Yeah, more of that. All right, I think we're all tapped out, right?
I'm with you. Oh, wait, one more.
All right.
On stage, while Inafune is giving his presentation for Mighty Number 9, he's going to be served with fucking copyright papers from Capcom.
I love it. I fucking love it.
As much as I'm excited for Mighty Number 9, he should be served. That is the most direct ripoff I've ever seen.
Well, he
off himself.
I mean, he's got a date and everything for that now, I think.
Oh, there's all types of exclusive stuff with like the retail copy and like I'm 100% on board, but
I mean I think it's gone too far for
line.
Yeah, I mean he is riding a very, very thin line, but he's done it because it's if they were going to serve him papers, it would have happened already. However, it would be hilarious, and I'd like to see it, even though I gave him my money, and it would be shit if they canceled it at this point, but sure, I'd like to see it funny.
Yeah. I would love to see them serve papers that say that Mega Man's a playable character in Mighty Number 9 and vice versa.
Oh, that would be so dope.
My head would fucking
so
explode.
awesome.
Mega Man skin? Yeah, love it.
So that would be great. All right, well, this was all extraordinarily fun. I loved hearing all you guys' predictions. I have written down all of them, and we're going to be paying very close attention to what actually happens, and I'm going to keep score. Also, Tiff was mentioning during the break that we're going to try to put together some E3 bingo cards. We're going to have them available on the site for you to print out and play some E3 bingo as you watch, and, play it with your friends. It'll be fun. Yay. And then we're also we're going to try to do
make Dean play it on Twitch.
Yeah, make Dean play it live on Twitch
while I'm drinking.
We're going to try to do some sort of live broadcasts after the E3 events, like towards the end of the day, some little recap type things and what our impressions of what the announcements were. Just some quick things. Can't promise anything, but we're going to make an attempt to make that work. Just because we want to do a little bit more live content. It's a good time. So besides all that jazz, Dean, do the thing, man. Do the thing.
I'm gonna do the fucking thing. I'm gonna fucking do it right now. You know what, guys? You know what? If you like the website, you should definitely check out the show notes because that has all the stuff that you should check out for anything that we talk about, whether it be links about stuff that we talked about on the show, all the awesome social stuff that we have in store for you, or any of the content that we might have mentioned during this segment, like our email, our Facebook, our Twitter, our Tumblr, our Twitch, our things with other T's in them, our Instagram, anything like that. It'll be listed in the show notes. So check it out. Don't miss it, because if you do, I'm fucking coming for you.
Ooh.
52 episodes, it still sounds like you're making it up on the spot. It's fucking impressive.
It really does. Yes, so 52 episodes. We've officially made it a year. And unofficially made it a year. We've done it. So congratulations to all of us. And congratulations to you for listening to us. We're hoping to do another year's worth of work at least.
Many years.
Many years. We've got lots of cool stuff coming up, including next week we're going to be doing an interview with a representative from Too Many Games, which is the convention that we're going to be going to very soon, which you probably heard an ad about in the middle of the show, which I will probably edit into the show, and I've probably heard ads about in all the previous episodes of the show most recently. But yeah, we're going to be there at Too Many Games, and we're going to talk all about that next week on the Stone Age Gamer podcast, which is what you're listening to right now, and what I'm thanking you for listening to right now. So on behalf of Dean, Dan, and Tiff,
I'm Dan Ryan. Oh, wrong show. Fuck, sorry. Go on.
I'm Dean DeFalco. Have a great day.
Is this how you guys normally do the podcast? Just laid up against the wall?
Yes.
Yes.
Just
I think they're
curious.
sitting on something.
No, we're just leaning against the wall.
Yeah. We don't have
Okay.
furniture. That's why we don't invite people over to the house.
Fair enough. Also, just real quick, Chris, you can cut this out. If we turn the cameras off, our bandwidth would be a little better audio-wise. So I don't know if you guys want to do that or not.
Off.
How do we do that?
You just,
Where do I turn the camera off?
It's don't turn the computer off, just the camera. It's
I will shut this whole thing down, Dean.
it's up top. Like if you start moving your mouse around, there'll be
Yeah,
like
I
a
see
little
it.
bar. Yeah, that'll help.
Hey, there we go.
Oh
Bandwidth.
god, that's so much better.
Yeah. No, that doesn't mean start playing with the fucking buttons again.
Sorry, it was supposed to be this one.
Oh Christ. Okay, good.
All right,
Glad we got it. Okay. But where was
Fuck
I?
you, I'm
with this?
sick.
I know.
I'm gonna write an article about Rocky IV.